What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. And today, we're going to be going over an NBA Finals preview of the Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics. Playoff statistics. Record-wise, Boston is 12-6 in the playoffs. Golden State Warriors are 12-4. Awards and honors. All defensive player, Marcus Smart won the Defensive Player of the Year. Jason Tatum made all first team NBA. Marcus Smart made first team all defensive team. Robert Williams for the Celtics, second team all defensive. Steph Curry made second team all NBA. Draymond Green made second team all defensive team. Let's go over some of these playoff stats. In the playoffs, the Boston Celtics are averaging 107 points a game. Golden State Warriors 114. Rebounding, Boston 42. Golden State 44 rebounds a game. Assist, Celtics 24. The Warriors 28. Boston 24. Steal, Celtics 6.5. Golden State 6.8. Blocks 6.3. That's a lot of blocks per game for Boston. And Golden State is 5.1. 3-pointers made per game in the playoffs. 13 for Boston, 13 for the Golden State Warriors. Field goal percentage. Now, see, here's where the devil is in the detail on some of these statistics. The Golden State Warriors shooting 49% from the field. The Boston Celtics shooting 45% from the field. 3-pointers. Boston 36%. Golden State 37%. Basically 38% because it's 37.9. So basically 38%. Free throws. Boston do have the edge in the free throws at 81%. Golden State at 75%, which is a little shocking when you got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But I guess Draymond Green's not a great free throw shooter. But Jordan Poole is one of the best free throw shooters. So that's a little surprising statistics. Playoffs, who's averaging the most points out of these teams? Rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in each player. You got Jason Tatum averaging 27 points a game. Steph Curry is averaging 25 points a game in the playoffs. Rebounds, Al Horford averaging 9.6. Kevin Looney is averaging 7.7. Marcus Smart averages 6.2 assists per game. Draymond Green averages 6.3. Steals per game, Jaylen Brown 1.3. Steph Curry 1. Blocks per game, Robert Williams averaging basically 2 blocks a game. Draymond Green with a block per game. Head to head, these teams split 1-1. Golden State, December 17, 2021. Boston at Golden State. Golden State won 111-107. And then they had another game May 16th of 2022. Boston won 110-88. Which really don't mean nothing because in the Dallas series, Dallas had won 3-1 against Golden State. But Golden State is completely and fully healthy now. So now let's go over who I think is going to win this series. This is a very, very good matchup, you guys, when you think about it on paper. The Golden State Warriors have the 3 best shooters in the NBA. You have Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Steph Curry. But on the other side, you have 3 guys that you can put on those guys: Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. This series is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to watch the matchup between Steph Curry and Marcus Smart. You have the Defensive Player of the Year, you guys, against a 2-time MVP and a 3-time champion in Steph Curry. They're going to run a lot of screens to try to get Marcus Smart off of Steph Curry. That's what I would do anyway. We'll see, but that's most definitely what I would do. Klay Thompson, he's a little older now. He's came off a few injuries. So I don't know. I would imagine him and Brown and Thompson, Jaylen Brown and Klay Thompson are going to be guarding each other. That's going to be another matchup to watch because Jaylen Brown has to win this matchup. For the Boston Celtics to win the finals, Jaylen Brown has to win this matchup. Marcus Smart has to actually make Steph Curry shoot a lower percentage. And I think Jason Tatum will probably be guarding. He might be guarding Draymond Green. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know exactly how they're going to match it up. But we know Smart is most definitely going to be spending the majority of his time on Steph. And Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is like that person that people are not going to talk about him a lot, but he has to be watched. He has to be contained. I don't know who's exactly going to guard. That's going to be interesting because I thought, now thinking about it, Jaylen Brown, he's probably going to be switching off on guarding both of those guys because it's going to be interesting to see who he's guarding, either Klay Thompson or Jordan Poole. Because you got to watch Jordan Poole too, man. Not only is he a knockdown three-point shooter, he's also a fantastic free throw shooter. And he does drive to the hole when you overextend on his three-point shot. When you run out to try to contest his three-point shot, he tends to drive to the hole and he draws fouls and he gets to the free throw lines and he's a knockdown free throw shooter. Al Horford. He's had a resurgence playoffs. He's been fantastic. He really has been fantastic. He's played against him and Robert Williams. They've been great. So it's going to be Looney and Draymond basically versus Robert Williams and Horford. That's another matchup to watch. There's so many matchups across the court to keep your eye on. Obviously, my main the matchup I'm watching the most is Smart versus Curry. That's going to be the best matchup to watch because Curry's going to run all day. And Marcus Smart is really not as healthy as he can be. There's no excuses. Once you go out there, you're out there. But if your ankle ain't completely right, the good thing he had some time to rest. He had basically a full week to rest. But it's going to be extremely interesting to see how healthy that ankle really is because the Golden State Warriors, they're going to run you on defense. They're going to move, they're going to cut, they're going to pass the ball. They don't do it's not a dribble fest. It's almost like Princeton basketball. It's almost like a Princeton offense where they're cutting back door, they're constantly moving, they're coming off screens. So can Boston hold up to that? Watching Boston this season, this playoffs, Boston has had a lot of games where they just wasn't there. Like they wasn't totally tapped in, where they just completely got blown out at home. It's one thing to lose, it's another thing to get smoked. And when they were at home, they basically got the doors blown off them a couple times against Miami. And if you're not completely locked in all series against the Golden State Warriors, you're not beating them. I am rooting for the Boston Celtics, but I'm not a Celtics fan. So really, I could care less who really wins the series, but I'm going to be watching like any other basketball fan just for the entertainment value and to see the matchups because it's going to be a great series. But I'm going to make my pick. And in this series, I like Golden State in 6. Why do I say that? Because Boston has got to play a lot of teams this year that has been injured. They never really had to play against Tyler Hero, who was the 6th man of the year. They never had to really play against Chris Middleton, who's a hell of a player. And there's no excuses. No excuses, y'all. But what I will say is they playing a fully healthy team. The Golden State Warriors, not only do they have a lot of veterans and experienced players, they also have an infusion of youth with Kuminga and Poole and other guys on the team. Because remember a couple years ago when Golden State was sorry because Klay Thompson was hurt, Steph Curry was hurt, Draymond Green was hurt. They was getting top picks. Actually, I think one of the seasons they got the number 1 overall pick, right? They got James Wiseman. He's not even playing, but as you can see, they were able to infuse their team with youth because a lot of these teams, when these teams get older like this and long in the tooth, you can kind of run the legs from under them. When they ain't got no legs, you can just run them. But because they have just enough youth on the team, I feel like Golden State is going to win this series. But I am rooting for Boston. I do like to see young up-and-coming players, and I hopefully Tatum and Brown can step into that role and prove me wrong. You know what I mean? And prove that, hey, man, it's our time and the time is now. Do they have the talent? Absolutely. Do they have the experience? At this point, you can't get no more experience than what you got. They made it to the Eastern Conference when Jason Tatum was a rookie and Brown's second year, and now this year that was 4 or 5 years ago. You've been to the playoffs every year. Now you got the experience. There's really no excuses. But I like Golden State at 6. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, I just took your ass on one hell of a playoff preview ride. Peace.